Uh, sometimes I mention the work. I have so many names for it. The work, the pillars, alarm system reset, right? The brain retraining work. What else is there? The steps, the program. So, in our membership, we have a program. It's more to support people on their journey. It's called In the Trenches. You don't even need to take any program with us. You can just, right? All the stuff that you need to know is in the videos. It's all there, 500 videos, and you just follow that, and you kind of become your own guide. Once you understand how everything works, right? You don't need to technically join any program or anything. I did. I needed one because I was dealing with 75 symptoms. It was a shit show. I needed that lighthouse because I was lost at sea. I needed structure. I didn't want to think too much because I was doing tons of that. Right. So I needed to have something that was laid out and here you go. Follow this. It's like because you're going through the storm, right? You're right. You got all these symptoms, right? You got derealization, right? Triple PD, dizziness, and the multiple chemical sensitivity, right? Add in some mast cell activations, right? So you're feeling these fucked up sensations. Your heart rate won't stop going. It won't go down. You got tachycardia, OCD, looping thoughts, hijacking you constantly, right? You're you need a routine because every second your brain's hijacking you and you're off the path. There's no the path isn't really it doesn't even exist yet. You're lost and you're losing your mind, catastrophizing while you're eating catastrophize, right? So second by second, it's a shit show, right? Like I say, you're making exorcisms jealous. So I'll say so again. So you need some kind of structure path that you need to follow, but it's self-directed. This thing is the only way you can get to the other side is with you, right? You need to be the one that leads the way in. So what we do is we try to teach you with all the videos, with all the angles. I try to motivate. Sam does the science and the deeper digs on the emotional processing. You guys put the puzzles together and off you go. But if you want to join the membership and have any questions and join the classes, it's available there. And I'll kind of tell you what my side is, right? Because we have my side, which is the 8 pillars, and then which is Mondays. You get to see me on Mondays. You got the videos, the program. You watch them. You do it. And then you have Sam on Wednesdays, UK time, 5 p.m. And she goes over how emotions are a big part of this journey too. And she goes deep into it. With me, my program, it covers everything, right? It has the allowing, right? But it doesn't go to too much of the deep science. It's just simplified, less fluff. And I'm releasing a series of videos, probably 60, that Sam created for the membership on YouTube because we're updating the membership. We're going to change it a bit because we noticed afterwards that too much is not good. And I always like to have things a lot more simple because that's what I really needed. So we're taking all the videos, we're going to post them one by one. They're more educational. Some of them are bad quality. Some of them are, um, they're all good. They're really good. So we're going to release them for free, of course, along with everything else that we release. And we're going to update the membership. We're going to be talking um, about the gist of it. So she's going to be making some more modules, probably 5 modules about the gist of emotional processing. So it's easy to digest, gets to the point, right? Um, and I think it'll complement my side. I'm actually going to update some of my stuff too. So, this is one of those things that you got to keep tweaking as you go and updating, adding things, right? We're doing one class a week of elevating, which is tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern time. Join us. And we're also trying to get a community going. So bear with us. We're this is a learning curve. A lot of this stuff, um, and even with our lives, like right, we had two lives that we did, which ruffled some feathers. At the end of the day, it's authentically what we believe, right? Because what I've experienced firsthand, a lot of things I can't talk about, right? But if you knew some of the things that I have experienced firsthand, you'd be shocked. But it didn't go as well as I thought it would. So I thought, this is getting a little crazy. We actually had some people um, go get a little nuts with Sam. There's a couple of people that like hate her, and they're following her everywhere. I tried to ban them off the channel, and they uh they make new accounts and they keep going. And some of the stuff's pretty toxic. So we got a couple of stalkers, and it's not good. It's getting a little crazy, right? For me, it's like, okay, I understand you might not agree with what I say, but we can agree to disagree and just move on, scroll on, right? That's it. And most people, right, they take it as a grain of salt, move on. And me too. I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't something I should be too open with, right? Because it worked for some people, and for some people, um, they're grateful that I opened their eyes to it. Like Joe Dispenza video is still up, and I'm tempted to take it down also, because some of the comments are just "Ugh," right. And I kind of understand with Joe Dispenza. I kind of understand how, because I was into Joe Dispenza. I was into Abraham Hicks. I still like her stuff, even though some of it does not resonate anymore. Right? When you go over this journey in the beginning, I needed these people. Some of these like Abraham Hicks, Joe Dispenza, not so much Joe, but Abraham, Bob Proctor, Neville Goddard, right? I needed to be on the train with these guys because it gave me hope to push. But after that, you start doing the work and you look within. You stop looking without, you look within, you find the answers within because you're forced to. You have no other choice, right? You're forced to look within, and then you overcome, and the symptoms, they teach you to tap into consciousness. And this is your field of information from now on, right? Your intuition. This is what you tap into now. This is the truest form of any information you can get anywhere, right? It destroys. This is it, right? Once you get to that point with the allowing, and the symptoms become your teacher, then you start to see things that don't resonate anymore, and it can be very triggering. For me, even programs, DNRS. When I left DNRS, it was really triggering for me because it was the only thing that I put all my hope into it, because it was it, because I was done with the researching, all the years of researching, all the years of suffering, right? Dealing with the 75 symptoms, saw the success stories. I'm like, yes, finally, right? And it was working for a while, and I needed it, and I'm grateful for it. A stepping stone. But I needed it. Without it, I wouldn't be here. And there was things that were changing physically. It was great. But then all of a sudden I got stuck. My mental alarm started to skyrocket because of the resistance and suppression. So I'm happy that happened, though, because it forced me to jump ship and to find the missing piece. And I'm grateful for that too. But jumping ship was not easy. It was fucking scary, because that meant I had to open up another can of worms and learn something new. I didn't want to do that. I've had enough time opening more cans of worms. So I had to open up something new, and right, like I would even Google things about DNRS, right? Some success stories, or on YouTube. Let's check out some. And then you see this, somebody saying, "Don't do DNRS. It's failed. It sucks. It's bullshit. It's a scam." Right? Then I'm like, dude, don't. No, I wish I didn't see that, right? Because especially when you have OCD, that little video becomes everything that you see. Like I saw like 100 videos where it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, 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 yeah. Then you see that one little headline, and it overtakes everything. And it took me to, after recovery, I went back to that video and I watched it. I'm like, okay, well, they didn't even do the program. right? They didn't even do it. Okay, so, uh, but it can happen where you don't want to jump ship. It's too triggering. You hold on to these things, and they do good for you, right? And hey, some of these things might do good for you all the way, right? But for me, the things that didn't, I talk about them. And sometimes it doesn't resonate with people, and you can get a little bit of a backlash, and it happens, right? So I had to make the call and pull the video because I thought it came to a point where, was it really helping anybody then? I was like, I don't know. Sure, it's what I believe. I still believe it. And there's more I want to talk about, but I got to bite my lip and stick to just talking about the work. That's it. So, and you know what? I'm still fucking learning how to do this shit, right? So I'm not perfect. I fuck up here and there, but I still stand with what I say, and so does Sam. But yeah, let's talk about the work though. The work with that I always talk about here and there, right? So I'll generalize here and talk about the pillars and why they're important and why, taking one out, it's like a big missing key. You can't just, I can't just go, well, if you were to look at all these 8 pillars, 3 of them, I would do these 3. They're the most important. I could do that, but then, man, you're missing all the other ones. They really complement each other. They're like a puzzle, a bunch of pieces to a big puzzle that get you to recovery. So let's look at visuals. Visuals are so powerful because they have a lot of, they hit a lot of things at the same time, right? Visuals are there to bring your survival state down over time, right? You're sitting at survival. We're using the visuals to sit in the dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins over time. When you do the visuals 1 hour a day times 365 times 3 years, that's a lot of hours of doing visuals that help bring that survival state down back to standby, right? That's the work. And in the beginning, visuals are very difficult because the brain doesn't want you to look at pussy willows and rainbows. It wants you to focus on the danger, the laggards that are behind your back that are about to eat your fucking head off, right? And it makes sense. So you're going to deal with resistance. So when you're doing past visuals or future visuals, it's going to throw everything in your face. So the past, if you start going, well, I used to be able to do this, but I can't do that now, right? The brain's throwing that in your face, and you're like, fuck, well, I don't want to do visuals of the past because it sends me negative thoughts. Then you go to the future, and it says, "Oh, listen, don't even think about visualizing and manifesting the dreams of your life. You don't want to create these dreams because I'm just going to shit all over it. Because I'm going to tell you, no, you're not going to live on the West Coast near the mountains, right? Near nature. No. Number one, you'll never afford that because you'll always be sick. You'll be bedridden. You're going to live in the basement with cats, single, right? You're going to be suffering on medication, right? So don't even go there. And it'll do that. It'll slap you in the face with all this doubt and negative shit. But the thing is, you got to do it anyway because it's also a form of exposure. We got to allow these thoughts to come up. You're not going to like it, right? But eventually, you'll work through it and it'll allow the system to finally calm down with the exposure because you neutralize the alarms. Plus, we're sitting in dose. And then eventually, you're going to like the visuals. You're actually going to enjoy doing the visuals. And you'll be in the driver's seat. So, visuals and downloads. Along the way, while you're doing your visuals, right? You're doing your future visuals. You're manifesting. You're doing exposure. You're bringing the survival state down. You're also inviting the shadow to open up, to allow, right? Which is another pillar. So that's how they integrate. That's how they're so important for each other. It's also a meeting with yourself, right? Before you do your visuals, you're having a bit of a meeting with yourself. You're planning what you're doing, the work, so that you stay on the path. What else is there? And then you also work the spiritual muscle. You work with your higher self. You get the downloads. You start to trust your intuition. You start to open that gate a little bit more and more and more. In the beginning, it's closed because it doesn't want you to be in touch with your higher self. It doesn't. That's not important right now. You're here right in your physical body. The brain is like, no, we're not opening that gate. Sorry, bud. You're staying down here. But eventually, you'll get golden nuggets of clarity that are going to be there to support your journey. And if anybody out there is doing the visuals and you've noticed any of that, please share it in the comments. Give us some examples of some of these golden nuggets, these downloads that you're getting from your higher self. Some of the things. For me, it was more like, because when I did my visuals, I did in my phone. I would record them in my phone because it kept me accountable, and I spoke them. So make sure you speak your visuals. Very important, right? And I would just talk about things like if I had a question that week, I would just do my visuals and talk, right? Just I'm in the middle of talking, all of a sudden the answer would come out in my own voice. I'd be like, whoa, what was that? What did I just say? Right? And I'd rewind it and play. I'm like, man, that's a golden nugget. That's crazy. I'd be like, I'd have crazy, freak out, amazing, what the fuck was that? Eureka moments in the car. And I would keep those recordings and keep them on file because they're golden nuggets. And there are also synchronicities. Later on that day, you might see some synchronicities or signs that are saying you're on the right path. So you get more in touch with your intuition. You tap into consciousness, you get the answers that you want. You're doing your visuals, bring your survival state down, right? You're softening that ego to open the gate for the shadow stuff to come up while you're allowing, because you're an allower now, which is the second pillar, allowing. So we did the visuals, right? You're doing the visuals. You're getting downloads. That's the first one. Now you're allowing and engaging. Second pillar. So in the beginning, there's certain things you might not be ready to allow. Just so everybody knows ahead of time. With me, I could not allow myself to eat all the foods. I had to wait a year and a half to bring that survival state down, right? To about here, a year and a half. And then I could start training on food. So I wasn't ready to allow to eat the foods yet. And it was boring. It sucked. But eventually, I started training on foods. So some things you might not be ready to allow yet. Generally, there's no digging involved, right? We don't dig. We just work what the brain sends us on a platter. And we work on that. There were some topics and thoughts and feelings and things that there's probably around 5 or 6 of them that were too heavy duty for me to fully allow them yet. So I would take a little bite of them. So maybe 30 seconds and I would engage because they were too stressful for me. So if they showed up on the plate, which they usually do, the nasty ones, I'd be like, okay, I'll take a little bite of that one and I'll put it aside. Because there's 1,000 other things that you can allow and do the work with those things. Start with the low-hanging fruit with the allowing. Right? When you start doing that, you bring the survival state down, and then the other big ones become doable. Right? And you'll know. You will know. Right? You're the one that decides. This is self-directed. This is you. You're the one in charge here. Right? And if you make a mistake and you overdo it, well, then you found out. And finding out is gold because it shows you where your training zone is and where to pull back a bit. But we don't want to pull back too much. We don't want to have yourself avoiding the work. You got to feel uncomfortable. And yeah, you got to make exorcisms jealous on a regular basis. But we don't want to have it where you're in a crash for 3 weeks at a time. That's too much delays. You need to get to work. Right? We don't want you freaking out, having catastrophizing flares where you're not making any progress. There's no point in that. But that will happen a couple of times. And you take that information and you pull back a bit, right? So allow and engage. So you allow your thoughts, right? This is where you really hammer on in the thoughts section, the OCD, the what if thoughts, the catastrophize, right? You allow all those things to come up, let them do their thing, pass it through your chest, and then you have to move on and engage. And you can be doing this 200 to 500 times a day, maybe even 1,000. But make sure you engage / moving on, because you can't just allow something all day because it's like putting gasoline on the fire again and it reignites it. And then you have a fire and you're ruminating, freaking out, researching, analyzing, trying to fix, getting sucked into that pattern again. You don't even notice how you got there. So that's why I tell people find your sweet spot, 30 seconds to 3 minutes. You allow, right? You feel it, take some of that energy through your chest and dissolve it. And then you got to move on and engage, right? So that we don't rev that engine. So that's allow and engage. And we do that all day, every day. This is a new habit you're doing. This is a curveball, learning curve, I meant to say, because we're still have to unlearn the other way, the old way, and start to allow instead of resisting. Because what you resist persists. So, being aware of all behavior patterns is really important. Let's see here. Hopefully my mic is working. Yes. Because we're getting close to retrograde. I was never into this planet stuff until my wife got into it. And now here we go. I'm into astrology a little bit. I'm learning a little bit. And it affects some shit. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay. Being aware of all behavior patterns is huge. This is probably one of the big one. Well, everything I listed is big so far. Being aware that you need to be aware of all behavior patterns, right? Body checking your pulse, temperature, blood pressure, talking to Sally about symptoms, talking to your husband. How you feeling? Well, I feel like this, and I feel, sometimes, and I get this thing, and I don't know, right? You got to be aware of your behavior patterns. Are you speaking danger while you're in the danger when you should be speaking safety or showing a message of safety while you're in the danger? It's how your attitude, how you're not talking about symptoms, how you're not researching. You're not going down rabbit holes. You're not on Facebook, right? You're not talking about politics or, the news or things that do not support your recovery. So you got to build a little bit of a bubble, right? So this one's really close to creating a bit of a bubble in the beginning, and it's just temporary. So you might have to cut some people off, some of your friends that are toxic that you didn't realize don't really care about you, right? You might have to create some space between family members. You might have to quit that job. You might have to cut the ties with that narcissist that you're married to, right? This is not all about the symptoms. This is about making the bigger choices. If the symptoms are there to point to the things that you need change, they're alarms for a reason. So it's not so much the POTS or the chest pains or the dizziness or the shoulder pain. It's how did this shit get there? It's trying to tell you, dude, you got to leave her, man. You got to make some changes. You got to stop smoking and drinking and partying and being with a narcissist and being in a toxic relationship and going to a job that's toxic. I know you got to pay bills, but in 2 years, you're not going to be able to pay bills. So what's the point of that? You got a boss that's a dickhead, coworkers that treat you like shit. They bully you. They throw you under the bus constantly. They backstab you. And then every day you're angry. So you got to make some changes, right? So this is where being aware of behavior patterns, being aware of everything in your life, you got to make big changes. You can't just turn off alarms. You can't just get rid of symptoms and think that you're going to be cool. Yeah, I'm good. Symptoms are off. Yeah, this is great. No, you gotta make the full. You gotta look at the big picture and make a lot of big decisions, hard decisions, things that you gotta face that you don't want to face, that are difficult. Right? Being aware of all behavior patterns could be also people pleasing, not being your authentic self. You know what? Maybe in the beginning of this journey, I don't know if Sam agrees with this, but. Right? Keep the coping mechanisms. Maybe keep doing the people pleasing for now. Just for now, because it might be too dysregulating to face some of this shit when your survival state's at 1,000. Making these big changes, you might not be ready for it, right? I think I know for me, I didn't even notice some of these behavior patterns at first. I had to recover first to realize, shit, man, I do some of these things. And then, of course, meeting Sam, right? She points some shit out. Yeah, no, Helmut, but I noticed that you. Yeah, well, that's maybe look into that. I'm like, oh fuck, I do that, right? I do, right? So I'm able to work on some of these things, and they won't be too overwhelming, right? So it's okay to stick. Let some things be there for now, but you're aware of them. You can change them a little bit down the road because it might be overwhelming. Just a thought, right? You can go ahead and do it anyway, but sometimes it's easier to make things so that they're doable, right? Sometimes in the beginning, you got to cope, manage, avoid foods, do the stretches, right? We're not really following the rules totally. You might survive a little bit because we need to. We're not ready to fully surrender yet. We might have to white knuckle a little bit, right? We're human. Let's be realistic. Exposure. For now, I would say don't even worry about exposure. You're going to get to a point where you're going to be a hunter, where you're going to start to look for targets to go towards and allow them, expose yourself to them, to neutralize them. But in the beginning, you're doing that constantly with getting out there with the routine, with your visuals, with the allowing, right? With the movement in nature. Like it's all a form of exposure, right? It's already in there. So you don't have to worry about that. So one less thing to worry about. Preparation is important. Get a calendar. Get yourself in there in the calendar. Every day is Groundhog Day. Get a good calendar with some stickers, right? It's going to keep you. This is the lifeline to this journey. Because if you're at home ruminating at 2 o'clock on the couch, because it can happen, all of a sudden you didn't know how the fuck you got there, right? You got to think, oh shit, what am I doing? What time is it? It's 2 o'clock. Fuck, what does my routine say? What's my schedule say? Oh, I should be out for my walk and talks. What the hell? Okay, let's go, right? Go, right? You're going to slip here and there, but this is why we have the routine schedule to keep you on track, because when you're being hijacked constantly and you try to go live life, you're going to lose. The brain's going to win. It's supposed to. That's its job. It has to. That's why we have a routine schedule to keep you focused and on track, right? And go, oh shit, you know what? I'm starting to ruminate. What am I? I caught that. Good. I caught that. What am I supposed to do? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to go do my dancing. Let's go. Let's do some elevating. Yay. Right? So preparation. Also, commit 1,000%. This is all included in the same pillar. Commit 1,000%. Put all the research on the shelf. Tell the brain, right? Go, hey brain, hey nervous system, hey alarm system. Hey, this is the deal, right? This is the deal. We're gonna put all the research on the shelf. We're gonna give this thing, right? I'm gonna give my body, my brain, my mind, right? I'm gonna give this a fair shot and do it and support it and update the software, right? And we'll put the research on the shelf. But tell your alarm system, go, hey, listen, in 2 years, we'll come back to it. We'll take it off the shelf. And if there's anything that I'm missing, we'll detox. We'll do some mitochondria work. We'll do blah, blah, blah if you want. That's the deal, okay? Is that a deal? And the brain will be like, okay. Go ahead. Put it on the shelf. I don't like it, right? And you have this little deal. And I'm telling you, in 2 years, you're not going to go back on that shelf. That shelf will be rotten, and you're going to throw it all shit out on the garbage because you're going to know. You're going to have evidence. You're going to be a master at this, right? And you're going to keep going and right. But for now, just to make a little deal with your brain, it might be more willing to do the work with you. Probably not. Okay, routine. So yeah, like I mentioned before, you have your schedule, routine, follow it. That's your lifeline, because you're going to fall off the path and you need to stick to it. Right, this is where it's prime time. When you feel like staying inside your safe room, I had a safe room, you're pacing back and forth, trying to figure out what to do. This is when we start to allow. That was the old method. This is when we start to do the new methods of allowing, right? And you have to stick to your routine. Don't be at home self-soothing on the couch, going, no, today's a hard day and I can't. No, I gotta. No, this is, I'm gonna take it easy. It's okay. I shouldn't be hard on myself because that makes things worse. No, follow the schedule. Double down. This is the day where you have to follow schedule, especially today. This is prime time. That's when things count. That's when the brain, it's when you make the most, listen, this is when you make the most changes. That's where the brain's more neuroplastic than any other time. When you have uh, setbacks, symptoms that are heightened, when you're having a shitty day and the brain's trying to tell you stay small, stay in your safe room. That's when you act like a giant and move, stick to the routine, right? And plant your feet and use it as an opportunity. It's prime time. And the last thing is movement in nature, right? Movement in nature is really important. It also gives you ways to fill up your day, right? Because we're like, oh, so what I'm going to do from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock? I got a big gap there. What am I? You're going to move in nature. You're going to go for walks. You're going to do walk and talks, right? So not only are we doing visuals in the car for an hour, right? But we're going for walks. I did 2 walks a day, 1 to 2 hours each, right? And this is eventually I got to that level because I was bedridden. I wasn't able to go very far. But of course, when you start to inch out, it goes from, around the block, 1 kilometer, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers. Then it becomes just 2 hours here, 2 hours there, right? So you're going to get there eventually. So I would say a year and a half, a year into this journey, I was walking 10 kilometers a day. So 2 hours in the morning doing walk and talks. Walk and talks are you just talking with yourself. You're having a meeting with yourself. You could be doing visuals. You could be talking to your future self. You could be talking to your higher self. You could be planning what you're going to do that week. You could be talking about changing a tire. It doesn't matter. Just talk, right? And don't talk about symptoms. Try to figure them out, analyze them. Nothing to do with health, nothing that's negative. All you're doing is just talking about create your future. What you're going to do that week, that month, that year, right? Get curious with it. Get excited with it, just like we do with the visuals. So you're doing your walk and talks. You're getting out in nature. You're allowing throughout the day too. You're allowing on your walks. You might have to pull over a little bit and go, all right, let me send me the thoughts. What do you got? Okay, we're going to allow them. I don't like them. Picture them going through my chest, right? You feel them in the body. For me, it's the chest, the neck, and let it pass through your back. And then we keep walking, right? And that's it. Nothing in this is dangerous. You're not doing any crazy supplements. You're not doing any crazy protocols. You're not trying to fix your motherfucker gene. Detox. What else am I missing? Motherfucker gene, detox, mitochondria. You're not doing any of that. You're not trying to heal the gut. Going on any of the kill candida protocols that are dangerous. No, this is stuff that everybody should be doing anyway, right? And once you feel good, keep going. It becomes a lifestyle, right? And it turns to a program in the beginning to a lifestyle where it's just something that you do. This is all self-directed. This is where you have to tap in, right? This is mind body. This is where you have to take charge, right? And self-direct this. Because if you don't self-direct, you're never going to do it. You have to be the one that takes charge. So that's a general view of the pillars or the alarm system reset, right? Eventually, you do the work. It's going to bring the survival state down. The brain turns off alarms, right? You're going to also empty your allostatic loads, right? Process the emotions, right? And that's also included with the allowing. With me, the way I allowed, I was just like, what's that? I don't know. I'm just going to allow, right? I didn't micromanage. I didn't try to be too perfect of where it was in the body. Was this a primary emotion? Is this, where's the fear or where's the anger? I can't find any anger, but what do you have? Well, I have fear and I have 18 symptoms. There you go. Allow that shit, right? It's screaming in your face. Work with the brain sends you. Don't make it complicated, right? For me, I was easy peasy. That's all I could handle, right? I couldn't understand too much. I'm just an average Joe type. I like it like that. So I just allowed whatever was there. I go, what is that? I don't know what that is, right? Sometimes you have a target. Sometimes you see what it is and it comes towards you and you get it. Okay, shoulder pain, straightforward. That's a scary thought. It's saying I'm going to have this happen. Catastrophizing. What if thoughts? Oh, this is going to burst. This is going to explode. Okay, why does my eye feel like it's going this way? Why does it feel like I got eye cramping and I feel like I'm I don't know. Let's allow it. Let's do a thing. Let it do its thing. Let's get back to engaging. Why do I have this tight chest and I can barely breathe? Stabbing pain, right? Why? I feel like I've had this so many times. That one, the tight chest and the. But we allow it with our thoughts, right? We take away the resistance, let the energy flow through, let it finish itself off. You engage, you allow the system to calm down, allostatic loads start to empty, alarms turn off, and symptoms start to go away. They don't have a role anymore because you've done the work. The work. And it takes time. And when you start doing the work, it's a shit show. It gets worse, right? It gets worse before it gets worse. Not before. I know people are like, yeah, so it gets worse before it gets better. Yeah, I get it. No, 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 no. It gets worse before it gets even worse. And it gets less worse. So instead of a 20 out of 10, it might go to, it might be 11 out of 10. There you go. But that's shit. Yeah, it's normal shit. Just normal shit. It's a good normal shit. Anybody else sitting in your shoes, right? They would have a meltdown. They would probably vaporize because it would be mind-blowingly horrible. But with us, our shitty days, right, to a normal person is their hell. So eventually you become resilient, right? And it becomes your friend. It becomes your roommate, right? We start to normalize it. The brain gets bored of this shit. The shitty days become normal days, and you don't even know what's a good day or a shitty day. And eventually, at the end of the line, right, you cross that bridge, you cross the finish line, you don't even notice, right? There's not much of it. It's not even a celebration. It's like, yay, today is a day that I recovered. I'm here now, right? No, it doesn't work like that. It's like, ding, 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 ding. I'm living life, but it's hard. It's really hard over here in living life. And bam, bam. Holy shit. Wait a minute. I'm recovered? Yeah, man. You passed the finish line and you didn't even notice it. How long did that was I recovered for? 6 months, buddy. You didn't even notice. Shit. Shit. Right? That's when you know that you fully allowed the symptoms to be there. That you even told the symptoms, hey, I want you to be here for another year. Fuck it. You're with me for another year. Fuck it. Right? It could be to the point where somebody asks you, hey, are you dizzy? You don't even know. You know what? I don't even know because I just don't care. I've allowed it so much. It's a part of the furniture. I don't know the difference between dizziness and not. Wait a minute. I'm not dizzy. Go figure. Oh, shit. Now I'm dizzy again, right? It's the allowing with no strings attached is really important. And you're going to get used to it. And eventually symptoms will go one at a time. And you won't know they are until you look back and go, shit, I'm not afraid of this anymore. I can eat that. I can do this. Wow, I'm able to, my pelvic floor pain's gone. Right? That's when you see the big contrast of improvement and transformation. But the day to day, you might not notice it. So keep that in mind. In mind. 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 All right, I'm going to give some shout outs and say hi to some people. And then I'm off to walk the dogs. It's a hot day. Hot day. All right. What I love about you and Adam is that you call out stuff. Matters. Who's Adam? Show me who Adam is in the comments. Come on, Helmut. Adam. Adam's who? I don't know. Who's that? Never apologize for that. You're saving lives. Sometimes it takes the uncomfortable truth. Yeah. No, it's true. I thought maybe that's my role. Maybe I got to cause some shit. Right? I'm like, yeah, I should do that. But then, you start getting this people getting really, really nasty. And there's a lot of people that are like, I disagree with you. I'm like, that's cool. Still love you. Right? Right? We can agree to disagree but some people, they get really, and they don't give up. They don't shut the fuck up. They keep going and going and going. It's like, dude, okay, you're getting a little scary here. Like, are we do we have to fucking worry about this shit? And now I shouldn't even be saying this. Right? Yes, I'm passionate about this. Yes, I get a little into it. Right? I do have a little bit of an ego about this shit because I got passion. I'm human. And some people are like, that doesn't sound very regulated the way you're acting. Well, how does a regulated person supposed to act? Are we supposed to be sweet and agree and people pleasing? Right? Am I supposed to be not human? Because this is how I am, authentically. I'm authentically like this, right? And some people are like, oh, I don't like that. No, I don't like how you're. I don't like how you're. It's right. That's how I am, right? So I might seem like a bit of a dick sometimes, but I'm not. Right? Most of the time, I'm a pretty good, nice guy, right? And we might not agree on some shit, But my experiences are my experience, and I've seen some shit that were eye opening. And sometimes people are not ready to hear it. And sometimes it worked for them. And some things worked for me. And some things I had to move on with. No problem with them. They were still good people. It just didn't work out. And some people were snakes and toxic. So it is what it is. Take what resonates, and that's it, right? Agree to disagree. It is what it is. Oh, Sam. I'm like, did I miss uh, Adam? I'm like, oh, I hope I'm not pissing off Adam. Like, maybe I have a friend that's that I'm working with that's Adam that I'm missing out on here. Fuck, that's okay. Good. Thanks, Julia. I hope you're joining us on the dance tomorrow. Hey, Sam. Speaking of Sam, I did Jungian active imagination and Zen meditate. I guess somebody asked, did Sam do visuals like yours for her back pain? Okay, yeah. She did. You did the Zen stuff, which is allowing, right? Right, Sam? Uh, it's allowing meditation. So, right, I couldn't do meditations because they were different than what Sam was doing. My meditation effort was horrible because it's like some of these meditations, like you have to force your mind to be quiet, right? And I'm like, dude, that's resistance. If I'm quiet for 5 minutes, my brain's gonna hijack me. I can't do this, right? It was asking. It was like pouring gasoline on the fire. I tried Joe Dispenza's work with the meditations. It was cool. It was like, all right, I hear his voice, right? This is cool. Yeah, you're empty space, and right. I bought all the shit, spent a fucking ton of money, and then I knew that some of the stuff was free on YouTube, so that was good. But then I almost passed out a couple times trying to do his meditations because it was really invasive. Like you have to hold your breath for like a minute. It's like, hold on, don't let go, hold it. I'm like, shit, and I felt like I was gonna pass out, and that was actually getting me more aggravated. And that was the time when I found DNRS. So I had to unplug and let go of Joe for a while. Um, and I did DNRS because DNRS says, and I'm grateful that they say this, stick to one modality. Don't be jumping doing 18 different things and trying to fix your gut and, take one thing and stick to it. So I was like, I'm going to do this 1000%. So sorry, Joe, but we got to break up for a bit. And then eventually I just never went back. And I still have some of his books here. I spent a fortune on them. Just same thing with the medical medium, which is another crock of shit. Oh man, I'm sure I'll get some people that are gonna be triggered about that. Medical media. I had his books. Guess what? I didn't. Here I go. You see, I get passionate about, and people are gonna be like, I don't like that. I don't like that side of you, Helmut. When you start bashing the medical medium, the celery juice was magic. It saved my life. The juicer. I could not try the celery juice because it would trigger the shit out of me because the histamines and the reactions, right? It's so much bullshit. I bought the books. I probably spent $400 on his books. When I was going through this journey, I knew it was bullshit. So I was like, okay, I'm going to donate them. They're expensive. Maybe something. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to fucking throw them in the garbage. I don't want somebody else picking up these books and being filled with the brainwashing garbage. So sorry if I triggered somebody about the medical medium, but it's all bullshit, right? Just like all these Facebook rabbit holes that we've been down, all these toxic groups that I keep talking about, right? Same shit. Don't get sucked into it. Don't get sucked into trying to heal the leaky gut. Leaky gut doesn't exist, right? SIBO this, SIBO that, right? Don't fall for it. Candida this, right? Don't. Oh man, all the wasted money and time and belief systems, horseshit. Don't trust me. And you know what? Some people need to. So hey, do what you got to do. I'm just giving you right some tips of what I went through so you can understand it's bullshit. This is the way, right? This is the way through. And some people need to go do that other stuff to check it off and go, okay, this is the contrast that I needed to know what really works. I needed to check off some of these check marks. Horseshit, 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 horseshit. Didn't work, made me sicker. mostly everything, makes sicker, 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 costs a lot of money. I'm now depressed. I'm feeling worse than I ever did. Right? In a way, you need to. You need to fall on your face harder than you ever had in your life so that you're forced to look within and do the work. And hopefully the fear is so strong that it becomes the motivator. Like the fear, if I didn't have the fear, I would be sick still. Nothing would have happened. I would have been lazy, half-assed, wishy-washy. I'm grateful that there was a time in my recovery journey where I was in limbo land, right? And my guides, God or whoever it is, went, no, leave him alone. Leave him. He's got to sit in this. Don't give him any fucking answers. He needs to sit in this. He needs to simmer in this fucking hell for a couple of months. And some people are like, oh, a couple of months must be nice, Helmut. I've been dealing with this for 16 years. And then I find the mind-body space. Yeah, no. Couple of months? Wow. Not really. Right? I dealt with a lot of physical shit for, I'd say, 18 years. But they were manageable. I was managing. But when I got hit with the 75 symptoms, right, at once, I had a window of 3 months where I was in limbo land, and then my guides or whoever gave me the work to start on. And I know other people like, yeah, same with me. I was stuck for 2 years, so it must be nice. Yeah, okay. That's unfair. So I was lucky. Three months being in limbo, no answers, in hell, suffering. But I needed that. And you know what? Sometimes people need that. I think it's actually very powerful to go through that. So then when you do find the contrast of that, it's going to push you to the other side. And you're going to have the fear to drive you. You need the fear. You need that to drive you, because without the fear, you're not doing shit. So sometimes, and it's true. I had a couple friends of mine go, yeah, I was thinking about taking your program and doing that. I'm like, bro, don't bother. What do you mean? What do you mean, don't bother? Come on, man. What are you talking about? I'm like, you're not going to do it. And number one, you're not there yet. What do you mean I'm not there yet? Right? They kind of get defensive. I'm like, I'm not saying you're not there, like, smart-wise. I'm just saying you're not suffering enough. They're like, and then they laugh again. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's coming. Don't worry. You're going to fall really hard. And that's when you're ready. But you're not there yet. And then they're like, what the fuck's he talking about? You're a dick. I'm like, this is the truth, man. It's the truth. You're not ready yet. When you are, come to me, and I'll see if you're ready. you might only have 20 symptoms. I'll be like, come back to me in a year. No, dude, I can't. Right? Come back in a year. Dude, you need more fear. Okay. Oh, thank you. Did you do a video on Jungian imagination? Yes to the meditation. Yes, I have several I made on the channel. Yes, she did. And they are magical. Please check them out. Hey, Maria. How's it hanging? What's going on? Okay, I'm trying to read this one. I gave my exorcist imposter syndrome. Nice. Hey, that'd be a good t-shirt. Helmut, when you had stomach flare-ups, was it pure pain for days and barely able to eat? How did you get through it? Well, what I did is I stuck with my safe foods for a year and a half, because if I ate outside of them, I would have flares that would last 2 to 3 weeks, and it was a nightmare. But I needed that nightmare to pull back and to go, okay, I got to stick on my safe foods for now and do the behind-the-scenes work that I talked about, the pillars. And then eventually you'll get to a point where the flares will last 2 to 3 days, and you're going to get used to the flares. And I always say, work with your doctor. Make sure if you need coping mechanisms, use them, right? This is something that you move into slowly, right? Get all your bases covered. Go get checked, right? Use whatever you need to cope while you're doing the work, and eventually you're going to ease out of it. It's all temporary. All this coping shit is all temporary. And then eventually you're going to bring these discomforts along with you on a daily basis with the routine. And it's going to become, you're going to get comfortable with the discomfort. And eventually in time, because there's a period where it lingers and you have setbacks, foods come in and out 1,000 times, right? That's the whole journey. Eventually the alarms turn off and it starts to allow foods to come in and stay in eventually. So it's a bit of a long journey with food, but it's worth it, because you're gonna have full food freedom. Hey, full food freedom. That's a good. Maybe they'll call that the food sensitivity program. Full food freedom. Okay. Hey, from Philly, CRP. What's going on? You down with CRP? Yeah, you know. I'm going to allow the dentist to fix the hell he put in with the courage from you and Sam. And you know what? Here's a tip. If you want to survive, survive. Right? Sometimes allowing is just not going to cut it when it comes to seeing a dentist. Right? I'm recovered and I still hate seeing a dentist. And when I'm at the dentist, trust me, I'm white knuckling. And that's okay because once you're done with this dentist, you can allow all the bullshit that comes up afterwards. So go ahead and here's your permission slip to survive. Do it. Okay. I'm aware of all behavior patterns and still cannot stop them. It's one of those things. There's no trick. You just got to stop them, right? Um, thing is with me, I was going to the hospital 3 times a week. So my stopping was doing my best, still slipping because we're human, and I would go 3 times a week, once a month, once. That was pretty much it. So it was 3 times a week, once a month, here and there, and then I didn't go again, right? So most of these things you just got to stop. You just got to stop. And also being aware of all behavior patterns, you got to be aware of them and keep being aware of them and keep stopping them. Eventually, it'll be like nothing. All good. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Carol Bell, good to see you. Welcome. Got rid of toxic people. Yeah. That was like something that was I couldn't do it right away. I just told people this was during COVID. I was telling people I'm dealing with anxiety. I gotta get off the internet for a while, right? But I kept them around, and I'd hang out with them here and there. I was talking to them, and then I noticed, you become really sensitive, but you get to see what these people are like, the things that you overlooked for so long. And then eventually, I was like, I got to get rid of these people. And then eventually, I got rid of most of my friends. Right? I can't. This is from a guy that used to play in a band, party all the time. I remember I was doing that for many years. Had lots of friends. Right? It was the best feeling. To being a person that likes to be alone in a field in the country with his dogs, sitting in a chair in a field. Right? I being in the city, being around people, right? Sometimes it's just, I can't stand people, except for people online that resonate with what we're talking about, right? That's where I feel connected. But other than that, I'm not a fan of people, right? I might sound a little bit mean, but I'm sure a lot of you could totally identify with what I'm saying. You probably feel the same way, half you. Uh, okay, Rocky Mountain. Hi, Helmut. I'm late to the live, but grateful I see you now. Good to have you. Love to have you here. You and Sam are the best. I think I've been ill for decades. Okay. And didn't realize it till a year ago when I found you and Sam. Fucking awesome, man. So now you're aware of it. Now you can do something about it. Nobody's a special case, right? You can do it. Allowing is the answer. Thank you for saying it over and over. I think I do have to say things over and over again, especially with motivating people and telling them that this journey is going to be tough. And don't expect to have symptoms go away. I try to paint the picture of the hell. So when they go through it, it won't be so surprising. And they'd be like, well, Helmut told me it was this is going to happen like this. Okay. It still sucks, but okay, I'll keep going. That's the goal. So, yes. All right, let's see who we got here. Oh, I went through a period where I had lots of anger. Well, mostly fear. But I went through periods where I was angry all the time, moody, right? I just didn't understand. I'm like, oh shit, am I going backwards? Am I going crazy? Am I turning into this miserable mad? It was my mom, right? That I'm an angry person, right? A couple of times my mom would trigger me through this journey. She's like, Helmut, there you go again. See, you're angry. You have to stop that, Helmut. That is not good. Your anger. You have such anger. I'm like, It's probably from you, but anyway, I'm going through this journey. I'm working on myself. Well, then do it. I am. Then do it, Helmut. Because nobody wants to be with somebody who's angry. It's not good for you to be angry, Helmut. It's not. You're going to have a heart attack. That's what my mom said. Heart attack. You're going to have a heart attack. It's not good for you, Helmut. Don't be angry. Oh no shit. Why didn't I think of that? Don't be. Why don't I just stop? Right. That makes me angry. Not to be angry. Right. You're making me angry now because I'm angry. You're telling me that the more I try to stop being angry, the more I'm angrier about being angry. Brutal. Uh, okay. Okay, here we go. So, CT, Ren. What scares me is hearing stories of people years after healing that have setbacks after taking a medication, supplements, stress, sickness, exertion, blah, 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 blah. Well, for the way I see it, if you do the work, you you're forced to learn this shit, especially with if I'm getting your comment right, the OCD, it forces you to really learn the shit and to do it all the way. And once you've done it, you've learned all the pillars. You've learned this as a lifestyle, and it's going to serve you for the rest of your life. You're going to be a cork in water, and it's something that if you do have things that happen in the future, you're going to move through it, right? Compared to before, it started to stack up upon itself, and your allostatic load started to fill up, and we were chronically stuck, right? Not anymore. We're going to move through shit. Exactly. Medical medium. You know what? I know I told Sam maybe I shouldn't bash some of these other like these other gurus out there. Maybe I should not do that anymore because I feel, I don't like, I shouldn't. That's low vibration. That's not good. I don't want to be that. But come on, man. Medical medium. People are fucking getting sucked into that shit. So maybe one more. No. Okay, I won't. No, I shouldn't. Right? I ruffled too many feathers. And yeah, we're just going to concentrate. We're going to uplift, right? From now on, we're uplifting. But don't buy the medical medium shit. Trust me, you're wasting money. It's going to give you, you're going to go down rabbit. Okay, maybe you should go buy this shit. Go buy this shit. So, and remember what I said, right? Go buy this shit. Find out that it doesn't work, right? You're going to get brainwashed into thinking that, because I'm spiritual too, right? I manifest. That shit's legit. You can create your own reality. You're manifesting. We're spiritual, right? You can heal, right? I believe in mediums. I believe in spirits. I believe in other entities. I believe in other frequencies, dimensions, right? All that shit. Higher self, guides, right? Buddha, God, whatever you want to believe in. It's all game. But his stuff, he's using that stuff, the spiritual, right, stuff that's really popular now, and he's using it against you to make a lot of money, make you buy one of his juicers, right? And apparently celery was like going out of stock. Like everybody was buying celery. Crazy nonsense. Yeah, that'll be my thing. Oh, here we go with the dispenser. Okay, I know I shouldn't. Come on, guys, right? Right? I stopped listening to Dispenza when you got when he got the hair plugs. It made me stop believing in my body healing itself. Well, fuck. I think the mind body can heal a lot of shit. I do. Like almost anything. And I've heard stories where the brain, where your system, the mind, will bring you back to factory settings where let's say you had a shoulder injury or a broken bone where it actually unbreaks it over time. This is what I've heard. It makes sense. I could be wrong, probably not, right? It will re-break it and it'll align itself, but people, they get the pain, they think there's something wrong and they cock block it, right? But it's actually a normal healing process. So whatever, like a hair is one of those things where you might feel insecure about, right? I got insecurities. I got my weight. I got insecurities, but I'm sure I can do some emotional processing and do right. But no, I want to have. I don't want a six pack. I want to be a little bit more leaner. I want to eat. I don't want to eat two fucking sandwiches at 11 o'clock p.m. 3 times a week, right? Chocolate. I love my dark. I love chocolate, right? I don't. Why, right? I do, and I have some bad habits. Some people like they're only bad because you think they're bad. So your brain perceives danger, and you should when every time you open the fridge, and you're trying to feel something in there, Helmet. You got to feel what's there. What's there? Allow that feeling and don't eat. Right? What's the feeling like? I don't want to feel. No, I don't want to feel nothing. I want to eat that pudding. Oh, I kind of made the connection to Bill Cosby there. Hmm. Right? Pudding pop. No sandwich. No, I'd rather have a sandwich. Right? A good sandwich, and then it gets you tired, and then feels good. Right? Becomes a habit. Right? You eat too many chips. Uh. So I'm working. I feel self conscious about my weight, my gut. I'm working on that. Endometriosis, yes, 1000%. I did a couple of success stories about it. Check it out. I don't know which one it is. You can fully recover from that and heal. Yes. Here we go. Sean Milo. Who's Sean? Oh, who's Sean Milo? Did I miss Sean Milo somewhere? Oh. Here we go. Okay. Sean Milo. The groups are a cult and dangerous, but I understand the horror. I wouldn't believe it if I hadn't lived it. No mental for me pain. Awesome, guys. Um, what else we got? Let me see if I could see anybody else here. Uh-huh. Anyway, please like, share, please subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I'm trying to find a time slot where I'm going to stick to my live so people don't even have to guess. And they know, oh yeah, Helmut's live right now. Okay, we're going to join him. Right? So hit the notification bell, and then when it goes off, you got new content from Sam. She's pushing out the content like crazy. These are golden nuggets, right? And then when I'm live, hopefully, that bell goes off. Hopefully. Where is the team that I had to pull it? Sorry, it was getting too crazy. I ruffled too many feathers. So it was just not. It was getting a little crazy. Right. And there was some good stuff too. There was a lot of good stuff, a lot of awareness. But I kept the Joe Dispenza one. So if you want to get some popcorn, go over there. Medical Medium says eggs can feed viruses. BS. I eat about 3 to 8 eggs. Oh yeah, fuck. I love eggs. Yeah, it's a lot of bullshit. Bullshit. Trust me. Garbage. Sean, I injured my back and it became constant chronic because I was. Oh, sorry. You guys were talking. Hey, Moots and Flo. Who's air hole? Hole. I don't know who that. It's one of my friends. Don't remember. Can you do more videos with your teachings? Always, we are always doing shit. Okay. I want to know which people I can trust. What's your opinion on Steady Coach? Amazing. Yes. Vanessa. Amazing. Yes. Rebecca Tolan. I like her. She's good. Right? Who's Sean Milo? Howard Schubiner. Amazing guy. Super, super nice. Right? Sean Milo. I'm going to check this out. Check it out right now. After I get off. Sean. Right? I'm gonna behave. Vanessa's amazing. I have a success story with her. Check her out. Your Grateful Guide. Check her out on Instagram. She is amazing, pure heart. She knows her shit. Right? And she's got a massive heart. Good shit person. Good person. Good shit person. Shit that didn't sound. But you know what I mean. Okay. Lars, why you put my name up there? Okay. Oh. That's hilarious. Okay, Sean Milo. Sorry, man. I didn't catch that. You guys are funny. All right. Uh all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna wrap her up. And I guess I was excited to to research about Sean Milo. Maybe you should do something, Sean Milo. Sean Milo. Sean Milo. Right? You should do something. Get out there and be a guru so I can research you. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap her up and get out there and get uncomfortable. And please subscribe right now and leave comments about what was I asking you guys about? What was your, I don't remember anymore. You guys probably know. Let's talk about it in the comments. All right, get out there and get uncomfortable. Love to love you.